let's talk about the new single you've got out, Anything for You. Loving the song already. Your vocals, obviously outstanding performance. Just a kind of bit of a throwback sound on there. Talk about making that new song.
Well, the track was already made. I love the song. It was sitting in my computer for a while. J. Mo Moss came up with the energy of it and worked with Rex Rideout on it. J. Mo the Great, Jarius Mosley. And he worked with PJ and Pat, and Rex is my longtime collaborator. You know that. We're going to always have, our collaboration. And they were working on it, and I loved it because I wanted that energy, and I sat on it for a while, and around July or so, August, was sitting with Rex's family, and they were talking about his father, who had just passed away, and they were talking about how all the love that he poured into them, and just his style and his funniness, and he was just praying that he did everything to make them happy while he was here on Earth. And the whole conversation just blew me away, because I've been sitting on this one tune and didn't know what to write on it, and it just came to me. I started thinking about my mom and my family and how far I've come to have the kind of love that I have around me. So I went home and went to my office and started laying it and writing it on my computer, and I sent it to Rex, who's like, well, damn. This is so good, you know? And he's like, yeah, this is it. This is the one. And the lyrics and the melody and the energy on it, it's like sitting on the porch and singing the song that just feels like I'm so grateful to be alive right now. Right. And the plan was always to release it during this time, but I didn't know it would be so needed right now. Yeah. And to remind us to love on our loved ones, and how as humans we're resilient, and to continue to just lift each other up, you know? And when the song came out, people went crazy, and it had familiarity, it had class, it had southern, it had soul, and everything all in one. So I didn't know, but they were thinking, oh, we should cancel it. I said, no, music should never be canceled. We need it the most.
Yeah. Exactly.
We need to feel better. So just put it out there, and if people like it, great. If they don't, I can't please everybody. I don't do music to please everyone. I do it to make people feel better, and whoever catches on, great. I just can't focus on those little things. My thing is, am I making quality work? You know? So it came out, and here we are, man. Here we are.
And I see it's among the most added at radio. So, I mean, I have to say, this feels like, if you're going to push it at radio, this feels like it could easily be a top 5 hit, if not a number 1 single. I don't know what the plan is, but it feels like it, hearing the song.
Yeah, I pray it goes far. The main thing is that it makes people feel better for me. I love chart chopping and getting there for that, but for me, it's, are we better from it? Yeah. And that's what R&B music used to be about. Now it's about popularity, and I get it. And I want to continue to add this process to this time and said, well, I love what I've been doing, and I did it for me, but now I want to do what's missing.
Right.
And it's the simple things with bridges and musicianship and in R&B, where the musicians are talking to each other, and me. I'm a musician, so let's all just get in a room and make it possible. And so I just came back to that. That's how I began, so I think I'm kind of coming full circle. And what a way to start. But I just hope it feels good. If it goes to a chart, I'm like happy, I'm glad. I can't believe I'm on a chart after 3 years. My quarantine has been here for a while. Yeah. So for me to come back and on my own label, it's like, oh my God, I'm blown away just to complete a dream, come back to a dream that my parents wanted and be successful. They never owned their own music. So I'm in partnership, owning myself. You know,
that's awesome.
Not just my live shows, but also my music. So I feel accomplished already. Anything else is extra. Frickin' A. See my name by my music, my company on a chart is just freaking awesome.
That's amazing.
It's awesome. Yes.
And I'm also happy that you were able to shoot the video for it. I know it's tough to shoot videos in this time, but you put something together, and it's pretty special, I have to say.
It is the most simple video I've ever done. We had a tough time doing it, but we knew we needed to have a video with it. So my husband, Ron T. Young, an amazing director, I've worked with him forever, very professional, and, you know, he wanted the vision he had for it, he couldn't do, so everyone's adjusting to this whole situation. And we found the studio that was so old school. Rex remembered it. And I forgot I've been there before, but I forgot all about it. And the owner was willing to come out of his house and open it up for us. He cleaned it and everything, and light bulbs. And
wow.
We had a limit. We just had 3 people there, 4 people in the room with masks. And every room, it was just me and Ron together with 1 camera and 4 lights. And we used 3 rooms, and everyone stayed away. You know?
Yeah.
And I had to style myself, and, you know, I had a friend quickly do my makeup, and he was gone. You know, no one could stick around. It's like only certain people can be in the area. So we were very social distancing and having all the masks on and stuff. So it was really, really cool. Really, really cool.
That's awesome. I'm really glad you were able to do that.
Made it work.
Yeah, that's awesome. And can you tell us anything about an album you're working on, or you know, I know you said this is your first on your new label, your own label, which is amazing. Have you been able to put in work towards the album?
Well, when I finally figured out after 3 years where I'm going to be with starting Listen Back Entertainment and taking ownership of all the things that I do, being an author, starting my own publishing company, Chinwe Yacht Publishing, for my book, and creating platforms, it was like, okay, so when we start this project, I already had what I wanted to do in mind. I had the title. This is the first time in an album that I was excited about recording.
Wow.
Like, most of the time it feels like, oh, I got to go back to work, you know?
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, well, it felt like, what am I going to do and how I'm going to do it? I got to go in there and think something really cool. And I always had fun doing it, but it felt like work. These 3 years, I would just get up and go record if I felt like it. Mm. And then I would go back to doing something different. I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel on a timetable. I didn't feel like I had to make a song right away. So when I felt like I wanted to work, then I got up and worked. You know? And then even the way I sang on everything, I don't have to prove anything. I'm just going to sing the song and give you the storytelling. And after I had time to listen, I had time to make stories up as a playwright. So it made my singing and songwriting a little bit more comfortable and relaxed.
Right.
That's what I mean by fun. I've never had that.
Wow.
Usually you got 3 months and you got to turn this record in by this time. No, as a CEO, I can turn it in when I'm ready.
Yeah. I
can put it out when I'm ready. I can stop it if I want to. Or I can put out several records if I want.
Yeah.
This is like, I've never had that. You know what I'm saying? So it was really, really cool to, like, make an album when you feel like it.
Right.
Not feel forced and on a deadline. But I did give myself deadlines nonetheless. But I knew in the back of my mind I could do whatever I want. So I loved working. This album I got to work with, like I said, work with musicians. Back to that, the basics, and I got to play with background vocals more, with harmonies and production. I've always produced my projects, but this time I've really produced my projects. Had a lot of control over how I wanted it to be produced. I would start basic. And then I worked with other female songwriters, like singing Sarah Williams, who sings background. People don't know how wonderful of a songwriter she is. So I included her. Diva Mahal, who's one of my favorite songwriters ever. She's a young and upcoming artist who has, her father is Taj Mahal. She wrote some songs for me, just her and her guitar, and I said, can I have that? And then I produced it how I wanted it with Rex Rideout. Everything we did, to pretty much most of it together. Then I got into, worked with Robert Glasper, of course, he's on there.
Nice.
And we wrote songs together in the studio, collaborating, me telling him what to do and him telling me what to do, with Rex there too. So it felt really good to have control over what I wanted to do and finally take my full credit as a producer, and because I wouldn't do it, I would just stay out of the way. And I worked with this Crystal typewriter. She's amazing.
Oh wow, yeah, we know her
as well. She did 2 songs. She helped me. I always had melodies to stuff and a chorus written, and I always had my concept. So, but I couldn't find the words sometimes. So I would always call her. Hey.
Yeah.
Crystal, can you hook me up? This is what I want. She was like, dang, you're so clear on what you want. Yes, I am. Don't give me this.
Right.
This cuss word don't work, and I would just throw it back and forth. I've never been so clear on a project that I've done, other than my very beginning working with when I was independent the first time. But this was I'm clear, man. I'm so clear about what I want. But it was funny, I just kept writing all these melodies on this project. And because I was listening to a lot of Quincy, Rod Temperton, listening to a lot of Greg Phillingane's chord progressions and
wow,
his cluster chords, and studying Shaka Rufus and just Minnie Riperton, and listening to a lot of old stuff for harmonies and playing with the voice as a keyboard as opposed to just singing things. And then I always had an idea of a beat I wanted, the groove I wanted. Rex came up with a song, and I was like, this is old. It sounds like gut bucket old R&B in a juke joint.
Wow.
He's like, I was like, this is good. Let's do this. He was shocked that I wanted to do something like Betty Wright, or B.B. King vibe. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Or then I would go to something more modern. So this project has all R&B, soul in every stage, whether it's old school, modern, or 90s neo, whatever you call that, neo jazz stuff, neo soul stuff. So it goes all the way around, of what the eclectic energy of Ledisi being all soul R&B.
Right.
So it's not just one particular soul R&B, it's all of them that have influenced me. Because you got the Shaka Rufus, then you got the, I'm so, and then you got today.
Wow.
So I mixed it up because I'm not just one particular R&B soul. I'm a whole bunch of things.
Absolutely.
And then I did a odd song that I don't know if it's going to make it on the album that people aren't going to expect, and it's just piano and vocal. But I did an arrangement of this really great pop tune. Ugh, I just love it. And it's been done before, but my manager always wanted me to sing it, so I did that. So we'll see if it makes it on the album. That's why I can't really talk about much about it.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting to see what will make it, because I did a lot. More than I needed to.
Wow. That's awesome.
More than I needed to.
One thing I'm excited to hear is the progression in your sound, because I felt on your last album, Let Love Rule, you really took a step forward, did some bit of different things, and it worked. And I'll be honest with you, when I heard High for the first time, I didn't get it. It took me some time because I wasn't used to hearing you. However, I will say I took some time and gave it a shot, and now I love the song. So at first I didn't get it.
I promise you the argument that went on with that song, that's when I knew it was a good tune. The argument that went on with that song was that we don't get it. Everyone said it. I don't get it. And Patty didn't like it. Patty LaBelle, she didn't get it. And then when she heard the lyrics, she said, oh, it makes sense now. I didn't understand it. Because I think what I said last night in a live with PJ Butter, the DJ guy, on a 90s station, he does like 90s R&B. But he's been innovative in supporting R&B. And he said, I said to him, we have to let each era have their version of R&B soul. We can't keep, fighting against that energy because they're doing what they do now. And either you can play along and do what they do if you want, or you don't have to. But I think there's a whole generation we have to keep pulling over into where we started. Because with High, I have never had the response that I had with High with people who are of the millennials. They love that song.
Yeah.
And that is what I like to do. And then it made them love all the other songs, like All the Way. And then they loved Let Love Rule, just the vibe. And then it made them study me more and want to hear all my other stuff. So I can't ignore this, whatever this generation is now. We keep ignoring them. We have to bring them over. And that's why I love Tank. He just tries new stuff and does what's relevant. And critics like yourself and others, they beat us up for doing that. But we need to grab this generation of R&B soul to move them over.
Right.
And then they'll go back to what we love, you know?
Right.
So we can't ignore them. We keep getting mad because why aren't they doing this? Just leave them alone. Let them do what they like. I didn't like Millie Jackson, but that was my mama's thing. I was like, she nasty. But now I understand it. I love it.
Right.
So it's like, and I love Summer Walker, Janae Aiko. I love that the women are just saying, I want this. Give me that. It's sensual and sexual. That's what they want us to say. We don't have to agree with it, but that's their soul. So let them have their moment and make sure we embrace them and then show them our stuff and move it over. That's what I did for me. It got the generation now, and it meant to them. It's funny, I've seen more posts about High recently than I did when it first came out. It's
wow.
Like a year later or 2 or 3 years later, people finally getting that song. It's crazy how my music over time always gets these bursts. That happened with All the Way, but when it comes out, I'm a little bit ahead of myself. So, yeah. Well, and Layla did the same energy, too, on her last album. So I'm not doing anything new. Just innovative,
Yeah. Now
I just do it with a little soul. But it's just, to me, it's just Prince over a trap beat.
Yeah.
You want to break High down. It's Prince. I am a Prince fan.
No, but that song really grew on me, though, believe it or not, and I like it a lot now. I think sometimes...
So what made you start liking it, though?
Well,
what happened? What changed?
Because it's progressive, it's like... And when I listened to it more closely, I realized it's not even that far from... It's like, at first I thought it was rap singing over a trap beat, but then I listened closely. You're still singing a lot. It's just a progressive production.
Man,
and it's a dope...
hard that is to sing.
And it's a dope song. So for me, it's just catchy, and it's cool. But I think, like, what happens is... And then we were just interviewing Stokely, and he mentioned the same thing, that R&B fans want to trap artists into the sound they fell in love with them in. They're not willing to be open-minded to that artist progressing all the time. So I feel like that's the challenge you artists have to face.
And we got to take the risk, or we will be stuck in a box. And Stokely is not to be stuck in a box ever. He's one of the other ones that progress music. But if you really forget the music, separate it, and listen to the person singing on top of it, we still have to sing R&B soul. We still have to sing. And that stuff we're doing over that is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. Rex was like, you got to sing it like R&B. You know, he always makes sure he's like, this music might be modern, but we need to keep our R&B fans. And when you hear it live, it's even more. I do even more. Let you know this is a Luther run right here.
So the moral of the story is keep doing your own thing. Eventually people will catch on, and if they don't, you know.
I can't. That's why I get, when critics get involved, I'm like, man, y'all have no idea how this is going to be a good thing in a year later.
Yeah.
But imagine how our greats felt with jazz when it first came out, or like when R&B, when you had Jodeci singing church on R&B, or when you had Puffy doing El DeBarge all over the place, hip hop. I mean, you have to. Soul music ain't going nowhere.
Exactly. So I want to talk about your book a bit now. Just tell us about it. Don't Ever Lose Your Walk, How to Embrace Your Journey.
What's crazy about it is what I've been showing by example is how awesome human beings are, that we adjust to our environment. We make it work within our restraints. And here we are restrained.
Exactly.
Embracing the journey as it is. We are figuring it out. Even though there's limitations on what we can do, there's still limitless amount of creativity and imagination, and just how we adjust to things is immaculate. We did it when we had other catastrophes like 9/11 and Katrina. We adjusted and we bond together. So with this book, it's just basically how I have had to adjust to everything that's gone on around me. And I'm not really telling people what to do. I'm saying, here's an example, and here's what I did. And then here's how I shared my lessons with other people, like especially my mom, getting her out of depression. And now she's, graduated from college at 65, magna cum laude, finishing her dreams and finishing and completing things, after fighting cancer, doing all this, But it took me to help her get her back together because I wasn't together, and I learned from it, and then I shared it with her. And then I talk about just meeting people along your journey that aren't good for you, and how you can be vulnerable in a place like my favorite chapter is when the circus comes to town, comes around. It's about you being on your journey and you're exhausted and you want things to happen right away. When you move too fast, the circus comes. You leave yourself open for all these things that, oh, good, I don't have to work as hard. Let me go over here, and this person will take care of it, and they'll do it, and they have all the tricks and the balloons and everything. You figure, oh, shoot, I don't belong here, So and being protective of those moments and remembering who you are and the greatness of yourself. Just a reminder. And along the book, you write in it, or you journal along with me, just like my first book, Better Than All Right, and all my truths, my emotions, and things that I've learned. So I love it. I love it, and we're doing exactly what I said. What I hoped people would get is to how to adjust.
Right. That's awesome.